A few general items here in the judging. First is that there is no student meetings this year. I will contact you by, I believe it's February 27th, which is a Saturday, with a list of projects for you to evaluate along with the judges' packets. And the judging will be done asynchronously, which means you can do it at your own pace, at your own location. You do not need to physically meet with anybody else, including the co-judges. You will be assigned at least one other co-judge to work with. I will provide some contact information for that co-judge, and you guys will need to contact each other. You don't necessarily have to judge the projects together virtually, but you will need to talk to each other to figure out which projects you think should advance. Final selections do need to be emailed to me by Sunday, March 7th, so that I can put the awards ceremony video together for Monday, March 8th. So the sooner you can get that to me, the better, preferably before Sunday, March 7th. My email address is apauli001@horrycountyschools.net. So if you have any questions, you can contact me there, or please make sure you email me those final selections. If you feel like you are missing something, please contact me sooner rather than later. You're going to get your projects. They also should have a title page, process paper, and an annotated bibliography. So if you're missing anything, let me know, and I'll let you know if they're supposed to have it or if the students sent it to me. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the evaluation sheets. Now, if you judged in the past, the evaluation sheets have been updated this year. If you haven't judged in the past, they're new to you anyways. So you'll probably want know a little bit about this. Basically, the evaluation sheets are broken into 2 pages. The first page is historical quality, and that's 80% of the project. And the second page is clarity of presentation. Now, there's 10 rows. So the first historical quality is 8 different rows, and is going to look essentially like a rubric. If you're familiar with rubrics, you'll know kind of what we're talking about. Before I show you the evaluation form, though, I do want to mention that most of the projects can be broken into 3 basic parts. Because we want to go beyond just basic description, we want analysis. The project should have a larger context and immediate causation piece, sort of at the beginning of the project, on the left-hand side of any sort of exhibits, the larger context which leads into the main event. The main event itself should be described. That main event should have the heart of the argument in it for why it's a communication. And then coming out of the main event, there should be a short-term and long-term outcomes and consequences. Essentially, what we want to do is make sure they can get up to the modern era. Now, try to make those connections to the modern day. Some directors are fond of saying, so what, who cares, right? Now, I wouldn't say that to the students, but we want to know why this is important today. The evaluation forms can be found at this link. If you're following along, you have the PowerPoint open. It is rubric-based. I want to mention, though, that these are not score sheets. They are subjective by nature. And you're going to take a look at them, and you're going to be able to see that they are written out as a rubric form. There are 4 columns. It ranks from needs improvement to superior. The reason that I want to mention that is because these are basically your notes for the project. There's not evident, fair, good, excellent, and superior. There's not any points associated with these. Unfortunately, some of the teachers use these as a rubric, so the students might be thinking of these as score sheets, but I don't want you to think of it as a score sheet. The language here is subjective enough that I might think something is superior. You might only categorize it as excellent. So these are basically notes so that you can take a look at the projects together and compare notes with each other, and then come to an agreement together. I'm going to have a separate video to discuss the evaluation form in just one moment.